And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Paul JT, who writes, "Hey, John and Rob. As we already know, AMC was in talks with Caruso, the company that owns the Grove, the Americana, among other locations. But now it's official. According to Variety, we have a deal between both companies, and AMC will open officially in August. I'll miss Pacific Theaters, but it's good to see life coming back to those theaters. Even if this is a great move, do you think it's wise for AMC, which is still recovering from the current pandemic, to open more locations, or they should wait until they're officially out of the woods? To me, again, this is a great move, but I wanted to know your thoughts." All right, thanks for sending that in, Paul. And of course, yes, one of the big, ramifications of the pandemic on the entertainment industry has obviously been the movie theaters. And the tale of AMC throughout the pandemic is something of song and tale. Like, they go through this big expansion pre-pandemic. They launch their AMC A-list program, spend tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars getting that up and running. They do a total retrofit on a ton of their theaters, Rob. Like a ton of them, putting in those leather recliner motorized chairs, building out their Dolby cinemas and blah, blah, blah. And they put themselves in a lot of debt, but the future looked bright. And just as they spent all that money, and just as they were starting to see profits roll in from the A-list program and all that kind of stuff, what happened? The pandemic hit. The pandemic hit, and they had to shut their doors, and they went into massive financial trouble. And it looked, Rob, for a fortnight like they were going to have to close their doors. The biggest movie theater chain in the world was going to have to close their doors. But then, Rob, out of nowhere, comes a bunch of jackasses on Reddit saying, we're going to invest in AMC. And all of a sudden, essentially, it became like a meme stock. AMC stocks went from like $2 to like, I can't remember what it peaked at. It might have peaked around 60 or 70. I don't know. But all of a sudden, their stock shot up by like 5,000 times. And, I'm not going to lie. Ann and I made a little bit of money on that stock shooting up. I'm not going to lie to you. But the stock shot up. But more importantly, it put AMC in a position to go, well, hell, our stock's now worth like $50. All right, sell millions of shares of stock. And they were able to raise, Rob, I still remember the article in Yahoo Finance that came out and reported AMC in one day wiped out 10 months of losses. All the losses they accumulated in the previous 10 months were wiped out in one day. And all of a sudden, AMC was flush with some cash. Not every movie theater chain had it so good. The Pacific, which is a very popular theater here in the Los Angeles area, the Americana Theater, which is a very popular theater here in the Los Angeles area, including, Rob, your favorite movie theater, the ArcLight Hollywood with the Cinema Dome there, they had to close their doors. Now, whispers and rumors came out that AMC was going to try to take over those things since they are flush with cash, and now it is official. This comes to us from the folks at Variety, who writes, "This week, AMC said it has reached an agreement with Caruso, a privately owned real estate company, to take over the leases at the two Los Angeles area locations. The Grove Theater is a 14-screen venue, while the Americana is an 18-screen theater. Here's why this is important, though. AMC is expected to reopen the theaters next month in August. The theaters have been closed for more than a year due to COVID-19 pandemic. In a release announcing the deal, AMC notes that in 2018, the Grove Theater was the second highest grossing movie theater in the Los Angeles area, and the Americana at Brand Theater was the fifth highest grossing movie theater in the Los Angeles area. Guys, that is no small thing. To be in the movie capital of the world, and that your theater was the second highest grossing theater, that means this is one of the highest grossing theaters in the country. And for AMC to be able to step in and take that over is great for them, especially in this situation. Now, you asked in the email, should they wait until they're out of the woods? The reality is AMC is out of the woods right now. Because of that whole stock thing, it's not through anything that they did. It ain't because of their idiot CEO. It isn't because of any of that stuff. They got lucky. But lucky they did get. And they're taking advantage of that luck, which is what they should do. So now you have these two choice movie theater locations. You either take them over, or Rob, what's going to happen? One of your competitors is going to take it over, and they're going to benefit from it in the long run. So I got to say, This was a smart move on AMC. They found themselves in a position that they could capitalize on it. So they went ahead and they did capitalize on it. And I think they're going to enjoy the benefits of it. And I love that these locations are going to be open again. Rob, for you, we also know that AMC is going to be taking over that Hollywood location at some point here. How significant is this that these really iconic LA movie theaters that it looked like we're going to be closing down, the locations at least will be reopening, even if they're under another banner? How are you feeling about this?
Well, both the Americana and the Grove are huge, high traffic shopping areas for LA. And that's why those movie theaters, both great movie theaters, great presentation, fun to go to, easy and accessible to reach. And they offered a big selection because they're what is it, like 14 theaters or something in each one, and to have them shuttered, that was a big anchor point for that entire. I mean, it's people. There's condos there, and apartments there, and great restaurants, and they needed those for those developments, and it drove this economic engine that was important to those areas of the city. And who would pass that up? And certainly the developers who own the Grove and the Americana needed those theaters to reopen. And with AMC, John, we know that they invested before the pandemic $5 billion in upgrading their theater experience for their customers, which is what you want. So there's certainly a theater chain that is conscious of a high-end experience. So I think it's great. Now, will they take over the Cinerama Dome and the ArcLight Hollywood and also the ArcLight in Pasadena? Regal Cinemas took over the ArcLight in the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
So that was something that was overseen by Pacific Theaters as well. So we'll see what happens. I mean, my whole thing is that my hometown theater, the ArcLight Pasadena, is shuttered, and I would like to see that open because it's incredibly convenient for me, and I went there a lot. But then the Hollywood Cinerama Dome it's a big marquee destination theater. It's one of the great theaters in North America. So to have it not open right now is a shame. And I hope that that ArcLight complex in Hollywood was also hugely successful. Maybe AMC will take that over as well. We'll see. Maybe it's a good fit. I just hope I don't have to watch 30 minutes of trailers. But
yeah, don't even get me going about that. But still, it's nice to see these locations reopening. And again, really another sign of the industry being now in recovery mode and slowly starting to come back to life, which is good for everybody. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? AMC goes from being, the most powerful, affluent theater company in the entire industry a year and a half ago to being on the brink of death's door to then surging back, and now they're expanding and reopening these iconic locations. How are you guys feeling about it? Jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.